If you want to understand why a country has an obesity rate of under 5%, while the rest of the developed world exceeds 30%, do not look at their gym membership numbers. Do not look at the calories they consume. Look at what is on their breakfast table every morning. Japan has the highest life expectancy on the planet and an obesity rate nearly 10 times lower than the United States. And here is the incredible thing. They are not starving themselves. They are not running marathons. They eat a specific combination of foods that quietly reprogram how their bodies store and burn fat at a cellular level. And the most important food of all, most Westerners do not even touch. In this video, we will explore the sticky fermented superfood that Japanese people eat every day, which has been proven in laboratory studies to reduce the size of visceral fat cells and rebalance the gut microbiome in just a few weeks. A special compound in green tea, which is consumed very differently in Japan compared to the West, activates brown adipose tissue, the body's hidden fat-burning furnace, boosting calorie burn by up to 43%. The traditional Japanese dining style called ichiju sansai helps control portions naturally without counting every single calorie. Why the 4.5% obesity rate in Japan has almost nothing to do with genetics and everything to do with 5 specific foods you can start adding to your diet today. And the critical preparation mistakes that destroy the anti-obesity properties of these foods before they even enter your bloodstream. To understand why the Japanese stay so lean, you need to understand one thing that most diet programs completely ignore. That is your gut microbiome. Imagine your digestive system is like a massive factory. There are thousands of workers, which are bacteria, processing everything you eat. In a healthy, well-running factory, the workers are highly efficient. But here is the problem. In the digestive systems of most Westerners, this factory is understaffed and chaotic. Years of consuming processed foods, refined sugars, and low-fiber diets have killed off those skilled workers, replacing them with bacteria that actually make you hungrier, cause tissue inflammation, and signal your body to store more fat, especially around your internal organs. This is visceral fat. You cannot see it in the mirror, you cannot pinch it, but it wraps around your liver, pancreas, and intestines, releasing inflammatory substances called cytokines that lead to insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease, and even certain types of cancer. And this is where Japan's secret weapon comes into play. The traditional Japanese diet can be considered the most effective gut microbiome optimizing diet on Earth. It is packed with fermented foods, soluble fiber, marine omega-3s, and polyphenols, essentially replenishing your digestive factory with the most efficient fat-burning microbes nature has ever created. A large-scale global comparative study published in the Journal of Nutrition analyzed 132 countries and found that adherence to the traditional Japanese diet was inversely correlated with obesity rates, even after controlling for factors like GDP, lifestyle, and socioeconomic status. The higher a country scored on the Japanese Diet Index, eating more fish, soy, seaweed, and vegetables, and less red meat and dairy products, the lower its obesity rate. And it is not just a slight reduction, it is a massive one. So, what are those specific foods, and how do they impact your metabolism? Let me break it down for you. The first mechanism is fermentation and gut microbiome remodeling. The foundation of the Japanese metabolic advantage is fermented foods, especially natto, miso, and traditionally brewed soy products. These are not just side dishes to add flavor to a meal. They are biological delivery systems. Natto, made from soybeans fermented with Bacillus subtilis bacteria, has a remarkable effect on your gut. It increases the ratio of bacteroidetes to firmicutes, the 2 major families of bacteria. Why is that important? Because a higher ratio of firmicutes to bacteroidetes is consistently linked to human obesity. When you eat natto regularly, you are essentially shifting the bacterial ratio in your body's favor. A study in the Journal of Molecular Nutrition and Food Research showed that natto consumption significantly reduced visceral fat accumulation in a dose-dependent manner, meaning the more you eat, the more visceral fat you lose. It also suppresses fatty acid synthesis in the liver and promotes fatty acid breakdown. This fermented version is significantly more powerful than regular soybeans. The fermentation process is what unlocks these anti-obesity properties. Think of it this way. Regular soybeans are like a locked toolbox. The nutrients are inside, but your body struggles to absorb them because of anti-nutrients like trypsin inhibitors. Fermentation is the key that opens that toolbox, releasing bioavailable isoflavones, the nattokinase enzyme, and active probiotic bacteria that go to work in your gut immediately. The second mechanism is activating brown adipose tissue through catechins. This is where green tea comes in, but not in the way most Westerners drink it. In Japan, matcha is consumed as a fine powder. That means you are consuming the entire tea leaf, not just the brewed water. This method provides up to 137 times more EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, than a regular cup of brewed green tea. EGCG has an incredible effect. It activates brown adipose tissue, a special type of fat that acts as a natural heater. Unlike white fat, which stores energy, brown fat burns energy to produce heat through a process called thermogenesis. A systematic review in the journal Nutrients analyzed 10 experimental studies and confirmed that green tea catechins increase the expression of a protein called UCP1, uncoupling protein 1, which is the molecular switch that activates brown fat. When UCP1 is activated, your brown adipose tissue starts burning white fat for fuel. Your body literally consumes its own stored fat to generate heat. A study from the University of Geneva demonstrated that green tea extract increased 24-hour energy expenditure by 4%, and this was not due to caffeine. When they tested caffeine alone at the exact same dose, it had no effect on metabolic rate. Specifically, the combination of catechins and caffeine amplified noradrenaline signaling and sustained fat burning. The third mechanism is the fiber-driven satiety pathway. This third mechanism is less flashy, but just as powerful. The traditional Japanese diet is incredibly rich in seaweed, root vegetables, barley, and fermented plant foods, providing both soluble and insoluble fiber at levels most Western diets never come close to. A study from the Fukuoka Diabetes Registry, which looked at over 4,300 Japanese patients, found that increasing dietary fiber intake was significantly associated with a lower BMI, lower fasting blood glucose, lower triglycerides, and lower inflammatory markers, even after adjusting for age, sex, and total calorie intake. Fiber feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which then produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Butyrate serves two critical functions. It strengthens the gut barrier, preventing inflammatory molecules from leaking into your bloodstream, and it signals your brain through the gut-brain axis to reduce appetite. You feel genuinely full on less food, not deprived, but satisfied. Let me share the specific studies that convinced me this is not just folklore. The first study, researchers at the Jilin Academy of Agricultural Sciences fed obese mice natto powder for 8 weeks. The natto-fed group showed significant weight loss, balanced cholesterol metabolism by suppressing liver X receptor pathways, and reshaped their gut microbiota, increasing bacteroidetes and decreasing firmicutes as measured by metagenomic analysis. These biological changes are completely quantifiable. The second study, scientists using a diet-induced obese mouse model found that treatment with Bacillus natto for 8 weeks significantly reduced body weight, epididymal fat, perirenal fat, and liver weight. Serum triglyceride and total cholesterol levels both dropped. This bacterium suppressed fatty acid synthesis and promoted fatty acid breakdown. These are not subjective improvements. They were measured in laboratory experiments. The third study, the landmark thermogenesis study from the University of Geneva, showed that a green tea extract containing 90 milligrams of EGCG and 50 milligrams of caffeine produced a statistically significant 4% increase in 24-hour energy expenditure. The respiratory quotient dropped from 0.88 to 0.85, indicating a measurable shift from burning carbohydrates to burning fat. Caffeine alone at the exact same dose produced no effect. The fourth study, a global analysis of 132 countries, showed that the traditional Japanese diet score was inversely correlated with obesity rates with statistical significance, p less than 0.001, even after controlling for GDP, education, healthcare spending, and smoking rates. Countries with diets similar to Japan's have leaner populations across every continent and economy. This is not speculation. This is not an anecdote. These are controlled, measured, and reproducible findings. Here are the specific foods, the exact amounts, and the preparation methods you can start using today. Food number 1, natto, 50 grams a day, which is about 1 traditional small pack. Eat it with rice for breakfast. If the texture of natto bothers you, mix it with a little soy sauce and mustard. That is exactly how the Japanese eat it. The Bacillus subtilis bacteria survive stomach acid and reach the small intestine, which is why natto is more effective than most other probiotic supplements. If you cannot find fresh natto at all, frozen natto from Asian grocery stores works just as well. The bacteria will reactivate once it thaws. Food number 2. Matcha green tea. Every day, use 1 to 2 teaspoons of ceremonial-grade matcha powder, which is about 2 to 3 grams. Stir it well with water heated to 79 degrees Celsius, and absolutely do not boil it because high temperatures destroy the sensitive catechins. Drink it in the morning and early afternoon. Adding a squeeze of lemon juice increases your body's absorption of EGCG up to 6 times. Absolutely do not use cow's milk. The casein protein binds to the catechins, reducing absorption by 80%. Plant-based milk is fine. Dish number 3, miso soup. Have 1 bowl of miso soup made from unpasteurized miso every day. The key word is unpasteurized. Pasteurized miso has had its beneficial bacteria destroyed. Dissolve 1 tablespoon of miso in warm, not boiling, water or dashi broth. Add seaweed, tofu, and green onions. This dish provides both probiotics and prebiotic fiber in the same bowl. Food number 4, seaweed. Eat 5 to 10 grams of dried wakame or kombu 3 to 4 times a week. Seaweed contains a unique compound called fucoxanthin, which has been shown in studies to specifically target visceral fat by increasing the expression of UCP1 in white adipose tissue, essentially turning white fat cells into fat-burning cells like brown fat. Add it to soups, salads, or rice balls. Food number 5, fatty fish. 3 servings a week of salmon, mackerel, sardines, or any seafood rich in omega-3. Aim for a minimum of 284 milligrams of omega-3 per serving. The omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, keep brown adipose tissue active and reduce systemic inflammation. Grill or steam it, and absolutely do not deep fry, as deep frying destroys omega-3 and adds inflammatory oils. Food number 6, pickled vegetables, or tsukemono. Eat a small portion every day, about 30 to 50 grams. Traditional Japanese pickles fermented in rice bran, known as nukazuki, are packed with lactobacillus bacteria that help diversify your gut microbiome. Look for naturally fermented varieties, not vinegar-pickled ones, as they lack live bacteria. Food number 7. Barley or mixed rice. Replace white rice with mugi gohan, a mix of rice and barley, at least once a day. A cross-sectional study showed that non-obese Japanese people who ate more barley had a significantly higher amount of butyrate-producing bacteria in their gut. Use a 70-30 ratio of white rice to barley. After years of studying metabolic health, these are the insider principles that separate those who get results from those who do not. Tip number 1. Strategic timing. Drink matcha 30 minutes before your main meal. The catechins in matcha activate brown adipose tissue right when your body needs to process the most incoming calories. This is when the thermogenic effect is at its peak. Tip number 2. The Ichiju Sansai framework. Plan your meals the traditional Japanese way. 1 bowl of soup, 3 side dishes, plus rice. 1 bowl of miso soup. 1 portion of protein, like fish, tofu, or natto. 2 small side dishes of vegetables. This naturally creates a plate that is rich in fiber, moderate in protein, and portion-controlled without any measuring. The Japanese do not count calories. The structure of their plate does it for them. Tip number 3. Stagger your fermented foods. Do not eat all your fermented foods at once. Have natto for breakfast, miso for lunch, and pickled vegetables for dinner. This creates a steady supply of beneficial bacteria throughout the day, instead of one massive dose that your digestive system cannot fully absorb. Tip number 4. The 12-hour overnight window. Most Japanese families eat dinner around 7 or 8 p.m. and eat breakfast before 7 a.m. This creates a natural fasting window of 11 to 12 hours. This is not an intentional intermittent fasting method. It is just cultural timing. But it gives your body a longer period to burn stored fat overnight, while the beneficial bacteria from dinner do their repair work uninterrupted. Tip number 5. Hara Hachibu. This is the Okinawan principle of eating until you are about 80% full. It takes about 20 minutes for satiety hormones in your gut to signal your brain. When you stop at 80%, by the time those signals arrive, you will feel completely satisfied, not stuffed. This simple habit cuts calorie intake by 15 to 20% without ever making you feel deprived. Let me help you avoid the most common mistakes. Mistake number 1. Lack of consistency. The biggest mistake is trying these foods for a week, seeing no obvious results, and giving up. Your gut microbiome needs 4 to 8 weeks to significantly rebuild itself. Natto does not work after just one meal. Matcha cannot change your brown adipose tissue overnight. The Japanese are not lean simply because they ate these foods once. They eat them every single day, year after year. Consistency is the real key. Mistake number 2. Boiling matcha or miso. Both of these foods are ruined by boiling water. Pouring boiling water over matcha denatures up to 60% of the EGCG. Putting miso into rolling boiling water completely kills the beneficial bacteria. The rule is very simple. 175 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 79 degrees Celsius for matcha, and always add miso after the heat is turned off. Mistake number 3, buying supplements instead of whole foods. I see this all the time. People buy nattokinase capsules instead of eating natto, or matcha extract pills instead of drinking matcha. You lose the fiber, the synergistic compounds, the prebiotic matrix, and the live gut bacteria. A nattokinase supplement only gives you a single enzyme. Whole natto gives you that enzyme along with Bacillus subtilis, isoflavones, soluble fiber, and vitamin K2. Whole food is the complete package. A supplement only gives you a photocopy of a single page. Mistake number 4 is expecting the scale to tell the whole story. If you start this routine and your waist drops by 1 inch, but your weight stays the same, you have succeeded. You are losing visceral fat and likely gaining lean muscle mass. Measure your waist weekly. This is a much more accurate indicator of metabolic health than your weight. What I want you to remember from everything we have discussed today is this: gaining weight as you age is not inevitable. A slowing metabolism is not hard-coded into your DNA. The Japanese did not win some genetic lottery that keeps them lean. When Japanese people migrate to Western countries and adopt a Western diet, their obesity rates rise to match their new neighbors within a single generation. Those who maintain a healthy metabolism into their 60s, 70s, and beyond are not doing anything extreme. They consistently feed their bodies foods that support the biological systems designed to keep them lean. A diverse gut microbiome, active brown adipose tissue, low systemic inflammation, and stable blood sugar. All of those systems exist inside your body right now. They are not broken. They are just waiting for the right signals. And those signals come from your plate, not from the pharmacy, not from crash diets, and not from willpower alone. You can start sending those signals today. Let's recap everything we have discussed. First, Japan's 4.5% obesity rate is driven by dietary composition, not genetics or calorie restriction. A global study of 132 countries confirmed that adherence to a traditional Japanese diet is inversely associated with obesity. Second, natto, or fermented soybeans, helps reshape the gut microbiome by increasing the ratio of Bacteroidetes to firmicutes, reducing visceral fat in a dose-dependent manner, and suppressing liver fat synthesis. Eating 50 grams daily is recommended. Third, matcha green tea provides highly concentrated EGCG that activates brown adipose tissue by boosting UCP1 expression, increasing energy expenditure by up to 4%, and shifting the body from burning carbohydrates to burning fat. Drink 1 to 2 teaspoons daily at 175 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 79 degrees Celsius, with lemon. Do not use cow's milk. Fourth, miso soup provides both probiotics and prebiotics in a single serving. Use unpasteurized miso dissolved in warm, not boiling, broth. 1 bowl a day. Fifth, seaweed contains fucoxanthin, which targets visceral fat by converting white fat cells into brown fat cells. Eat 5 to 10 grams of dried wakame seaweed 3 to 4 times a week. Sixth, eating fatty fish 3 times a week provides omega-3, which keeps brown adipose tissue active and lowers inflammation. Seventh, fermented pickles and mixed barley rice diversify the gut microbiome and increase butyrate-producing bacteria. Eighth, use the Ichiju Sansai meal structure and the Harahachibu principle to naturally manage portions without counting calories. Ninth, measure your waistline weekly instead of your weight. Losing visceral fat is the true sign of metabolic improvement. Your metabolic health is not a fixed destination decided by age or family history. It is a living system that responds to what you give it every single day. You have much more control over it than you have been told. If you found this helpful, I really need you to do 2 things. First, please share this video with your loved ones who are struggling with stubborn weight or metabolic issues. Over 40% of the global adult population is currently overweight, and most of them have never heard of these methods. Second, please subscribe and hit the like button so this channel can continue to reach people who want to learn real, science-backed strategies instead of gimmicks. If you want to dive deeper into how specific foods activate your body's natural defenses, check out my other videos on activating brown fat and optimizing your gut microbiome. The links are right here on the screen. See you in the next video.